Wait.
Mel, if you can hear, please wave. Melanie, if she can hear. Okay, you'll just have to unmute yourself. It's time to talk.
She just left this one.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, I'll be here.
Just coming back in.
So we're missing one of.
Any declarations of pecuniary interest?
No,
Okay. Thank you. Seeing none, we'll move to approval of the minutes. We have a motion that the Museum Advisory Committee meeting minutes of November 25th, 2025 be approved as written. Someone to bring the motion?
I'll bring the motion.
Thanks, Mel. Seconded.
I will do that.
All in favor? Motion carried. Next, we have reports. First up is the curator report.
For this too much because a lot of this is actually in our year in review. But the highlights I want to say is for, sorry, let me just a bit actually back in. The in the chair exhibit finished on January 27th. We had a total of 5,459 people through, according to our stats, which is pretty good for a 3-month exhibit. We also opened up Soil Superheroes, which is a traveling exhibit from Ingenium. And I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors from that one, which was Cuddy Farms, Burnbury Farms, Middlesex Soil Crop, and Finkel Farm Supply. They were able to cover about half of the cost of bringing that exhibit in. So we're really excited about that. The last update on just the exhibits is the history of Strathroy-Caradoc permanent display, which will be going in the lobby, is so close to being finished. We found out we're missing a wire, so we have to wait for that part to come in, and then it's going to be set up, and hopefully by the end of March, and we'll invite everyone to come and have a look at that. Awesome. Other than that, I just also, want to mention one more thing. In the program and events, big shout out to Crystal. She went to the pop-up hockey exhibit for the Rockets anniversary. We saw over 200 people through, which was really nice. And we got a lot of really great feedback from that participation. I mean, the event itself was very well attended and exciting, but thanks for Crystal for going. I was unable to attend, so. And upcoming programs, we do have 2 more that just were booked this week for March. So we have a group of homeschool students coming March 11th, and they'll be doing a lot of the discovery kit from the traveling exhibit, which is exactly what we were hoping for with it, because it's come with such amazing programs built into it. And then the VON programs, last year we saw the kind of reintroducing into these after COVID, and Crystal's been doing a lot of programs at the VON, which is great to see. So yeah, that's it. Okay.
Any questions? The curator's report. Okay.
Yep, yeah,
Sorry, Melanie, go ahead.
sure. I'm just curious, was the farmerette stuff before this report? Because I remember you guys were there too.
Which is farmerette? Yeah, farmerette. Is that what?
Yeah. I can't remember. It was in the early November, I believe. I went to the farmerettes. So, but maybe it was October. I'd have to double check because it's not in our list of what we did. So, when was our last meeting? In November? Or?
This report says it's from November to January.
Yeah.
I don't remember when it was, but I remember you guys were there too.
I'll double check. It could have been like October or November, but if it was November, it'd be early. So, yeah, but usually we have it listed. So we'll double check that.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions for the curator's report? Okay, seeing none, we need a motion that MAC receive report CS 2026-04, curators report November 25th to January 26th. So to January 2026 for information. Someone bring the motion?
I'll move.
Dave, and someone to second it. Ashley? Oh, I think Ashley has her hand up to second it. Thank
No
you.
problem.
All in favor? Next up is the annual review. And who's doing this one? Yep, Sean.
All right, so attached to the report is the actual review, but then as well as the statistic reports. This was requested a couple of years ago, so we've just kept it up, which just kind of groups all of the stats in one document and puts it in some graphs for everyone to take a look at. As you can see, pretty much everything is trending up. The only thing of note that was trending down only a little bit was our YouTube viewers, but we didn't have any new videos go out last year. So that's understandable. And even prior to the Poppy Project, our YouTube channel did not bring in the huge viewership. So it's kind of understandable that it did take a little bit of a dip, but not by much, to be honest. So the report itself, I can share it on the screen if people want to, but it's also in print of it. You want it up on the screen? Wonderful. So, yeah, the report will take you through obviously everything that as much as we could fit in the report for what we did last year. The introduction just has a little bit more also on the exhibits. We had our first public art exhibit in March, and then the second one was in August. Those were done under the new public art policy and procedures. Those were the artists that you originally put through in 2024 for the 2025 cohorts. And they were both a huge success. The first show saw over 2,500 visitors through for that show alone. So both of those shows were really well attended. Our summer exhibit, The Art of Printing, was also one of our highest attending exhibits ever, if I went back through some of our stats, which is really great to see. And we had a lot of programming around that exhibit as well. So overall, our visitors numbers have jumped, which is great. And some other numbers that have jumped for us was our volunteer hours. We had over 1,000 hours, which I don't think we've ever had before. That's really exciting. A lot of that go to the intern and co-op student, which counts towards our volunteer hours. We had 2 significant ones last year. So Jacinta from SDCI, she interned for a whole month in the summer and was able to do a lot in terms of programming. And then Dina, who was an intern from the Fleming College Museum program, and she was primarily in the back in the collections, working with Crystal to get our collection space ready for the new show. Under staff and governance, it does spell out a lot of those other things. And the other thing to note under the staff and governance, this will be the last time you see the section for the Strathroy Middlesex Museum Foundation. There was new members in 2024, and unfortunately, and we did do new programs, which were the first programs that we saw since COVID, but unfortunately we received notification for the foundation to dissolve last year. And so the foundation ended after 25 years. And the funds were officially moved to a trust reserve. I put trust in here, but it technically is a reserve under the municipality. Moving on to exhibits, you'll see the list of exhibits on page 4 that we had. Again, the 2 art shows were well attended. The art of printing was as well. Broken Promises, it was just the tail end of it because it was a carryover from 2024. And in the chair, it also was a carryover. So the final numbers of that is in next year's technically. As for events and programming, as I mentioned in the other report, the VON programming started up again, which was really great to see. Our seasonal position, Brianna, did an amazing job with camps. We actually saw a 43% increase in the number of camps from 2024. Those numbers have been steadily increasing, obviously with the introduction of new camps into the program, but it was really wonderful to see. And she's even she unfortunately didn't get to finish it, so we're hoping that our new seasonal will be able to finish it this year. But a program called Museum in a Box, which will be able to, classes, school groups, community groups will theoretically be able to rent this box from us, and it'll cover various curriculum topics. They'll be able to do the programs in it and then return the box to us. So she got that started for us. The last big event that I'll mention here, and you can even see a quote from Don Verge, who is the grandson of Arthur Curry. We had his 150th birthday with a regimental style dinner, and it was a big success, a lot of fun, and our guest speakers were amazing to listen to. Page 6, special projects. I'll just highlight the Poppy project was another success this year. We had another installation besides the gazebo in Mount Bridges and the town hall. We did include another installation on the museum itself, which is a stunning backdrop to the cenotaph itself. We still have more poppies. We're working on what we want to continue doing with these poppies for this year. And the Mount Bridges gazebo, we did add poppies to it for last year's. And we're working on a slightly different design for it for this year, just to help with the actual install. The other one I want to highlight on here is the collection shelving. There's lots of pictures tried to include, but we got the new shelving. Crystal has done an amazing job with, already packing some of those with boxes, rearranging, and we're really looking forward to everything finding new homes and eventually, hopefully, opening up to some behind the scenes type tours. So that'll be cool. Page 7, the media one I want to highlight, the really cool project with the Blythe Festival and the wind coming over the sea, where it turned into a much bigger project out of a research request. We had artifacts professionally photographed. They went to their media, several news articles, and it was a really amazing project to see, and Blythe then included us and our images in some of their and other news articles in some of the things written about the play. It was cool. Digital visitors, the thing I would like to highlight here is that there was the new website launch. So along with the municipality's new website, the museum's got a facelift too. And so you're able to check out everything that was within that, but it's everything for the most part transferred over seamlessly. We're still working on the virtual war memorial section that needs to be updated. It's just the way that it translated over. I didn't love the new format on the new website. So that was a really nice boost to be able to see that and modernize it. See the highlight collection. A few amazing things came in. One thing that we're really excited about is the Dr. Vine letters to his fiance. We actually have a volunteer already working on transcribing those this year. So once those are all put together, we're working on an exhibit for the end of this year on postal service and letters, and we're going to be able to include them, and the transcripts will be available as well. So really excited that we have that project right on the get-go. And I'm happy to answer any questions about the document.
Any questions? Melanie, did you have your hand up?
Yep, please. A few questions. So I'm just curious with the closure of the foundation, what's left in the trust and where is it going in the future?
I don't know what the balance is.
So the balance that was moved into the trust was $35,996.05.
Okay.
And then it's moved into a trust by the municipality, but it's, a reserve by the municipality. It's not, the museum has its own reserves. They are two separate ones. So it's a reserve that the foundation funds went into. I don't know.
What are the plans for it? Do you know? Like, will the museum have access for it in, the forthcoming years, or?
Yeah, so the museum will have access to it. We are working on updating our sponsorship and fundraising policy as well, and it will fit it into there. What brief conversations with the director of finance, we were talking about how that money wants to be accessed. It will be a bit of a different process because accessing that money is obviously, instead of going through the foundation to put in a request, the foundation not being there anymore, it'll be a different process. There is no specific allocations for those funds at this point in time.
Mm.
The way that the foundation, when we had the foundation, it was that we would request for specific projects that they would then donate the money towards. So we'll operate probably under the same thing.
And the last question, why was it shut down? Out of curiosity.
So we did not have an official statement. It would be in the minutes, but Donna was actually a part of the foundation, so maybe that she can speak to that.
Yeah,
Sure.
happy to answer that.
Yeah.
So when we reformed, we have a new board to kind of look at everything from the start again. And different than 25 years ago when the foundation started, now you need to have director's insurance and liability, which is an added cost. We have ONCA, the Ontario Not-for-Profit Act, which requires audited financial statements, which is another huge expense annually. And so when we looked at the expenses of running the foundation compared to how much we realistically thought the foundation could raise, we were actually losing money. So one of the reasons that another piece that came out while we were kind of looking at the whole situation was that originally my guess 25 years ago was that the foundation was created to write a tax receipt. So if someone wanted to make a charitable donation, the municipality can't write a tax receipt, but a foundation could. And so there's some incentive there when you're doing fundraising, obviously, if someone wants to make a donation. But what we discovered was, in fact, the museum, because it operates a little separately from the municipality, also has the ability to give a charitable tax donation. So again, that seemed like a bit of a duplication that the museum wasn't fulfilling that purpose anymore. And then also, as you'll see in their plans and their strategic plan, the museum themselves do, I'm not going to say it's fundraising per se, but they do events, right? Such as the dinner event for Sir Arthur Currie and things like that. And so the museum felt, well, are we competing against ourselves? Because that is part of the plan for the museum's activity. As Michelle just said, they have a sponsorship package. They're looking at that kind of thing. And then we had a foundation that would do the same thing. So we decided that it didn't make sense. And I think probably the paramount reason would be under ONCA, the expenses that have to be incurred every year.
Was there like a history of an average amount that was given to the museum every year? Like, how did that work? Because I'm not sure how that was set
There
up.
hadn't been a lot raised over the last few years.
Hmm.
And how it worked was the museum would make a request to the foundation, a written request to say, we want to, well, in my time there, which was only just over a year, I think we had a couple of requests, for funds that was outside of the museum's budget to bring an exhibition or something. So we approved that and transferred the funds over to them. So they still have access to that. Municipality and the museum probably just need a little bit of a policy, about what those funds can be used for. They were donor funds, so they can only be used for the foundation because that's the spirit in which they were given. So.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we have a motion that the MAC receive the report CS 2026-05, 2025 annual review for information, and further that MAC approve the 2025 year in review. Someone to bring that motion?
I'll move that.
Thank you, Marty. Seconded. Dave,
Second.
all in favor? Motion carried. And 6.2, strategic plan review.
All right, so Crystal and I will be tag teaming this one. I'll do the overall strategic plan review and Crystal will handle the digital strategic plan. So this, as per our mandate, we do review the strategic plan twice a year. This will probably be the only one that we focus solely on this one. Moving forward this year, we do have to create the new strategic plan for 2027 to 2031. my tongue took over the 30. But so we will be doing some brainstorming and looking at what could be rolled over, what could be just, there's quite a bit on our strategic plan that's just a consistent thing that we do. We constantly engage new artists. We constantly communicate to local community groups. So there's a lot of that will roll over because it's just something that we always are looking for. But what we'll focus on today is just anything in here that we maybe want to focus on for the end of this plan. And moving forward, other meetings throughout the year will be focused on creating the new document because we'd love to have that all wrapped up by September. So I did do some highlighting on the document for everyone to see what gray was completed. Green is just our consistent ones. Blue is some potential ones that we've identified for this year. Red is potential for taking off the list, but that's again for moving forward, just as we're working through it. The one that I've in just recent conversations after I already submitted it, in the engagement on page 6, the modernized museum logo, solidified branding, that happened with the solidified of the branding of the municipality. So our logo is basically the same. It's just the color of the Discover Our Story, updated to the museum's red. But after talking with the director, with Rachel, who's our communications coordinator for the municipality, we're also talking about more to come in terms of the standardized of our museum branding. So I know I grayed that out, but I think I'm going to put it back on the list because I don't know if it'll get done this year. We're talking about the museums, fire, and police all getting their own kind of branding strategies that the municipality did. Otherwise, I just wanted to highlight on here, so the development of the YouTube series, which is under 2 sections actually, under the engagement and then as well as under the collection. We actually have new videos. One came out last week, another one's coming out this week, and then the following week. They are to highlight the collections. They're a bit of behind the scenes. We had our co-op student a couple of years ago, and he was going to come back for another. Scheduling didn't work out, and now he's off at university. So we are launching his videos as well as Dina. So we have 3 behind the scenes collections videos. Last week's was the HMS Strathroy. This week's is the Medical Marvels, and next week's is immigration and post-war immigration. So please check out those videos as they come up, share them, like them, tell your friends. The students all worked really hard on them, and they're great videos. And we're hoping to do more of those. We've actually reached out to the schools to see if it's a collaboration they want to do, and we can bring in the students. They can do a little research project, make these videos, and have this being an ongoing. So just want to mention that. Hoping for the best on those. Other than that, I'm happy to talk or discuss about any of these ones that we've highlighted as potential. I just wanted to highlight those 2 ones.
Any questions or comments? I have one. I'm just looking at experience. You've got it highlighted in red here, develop a visiting artist residency program to bring professional artists to Strathroy on an annual basis, producing work and facilitating workshops at the museum. And you're taking that off the list, or you have taken it off the list. And I'm just wondering if you want to talk to that.
Yeah, we took it off the list because we kind of switched focus into having the public art shows and incorporating it that way into the museum, which just worked a little bit better for scheduling. We are open to keeping a project like this on the list for the next strategic plans. We just kind of went in a different direction for this specific plan in terms of bringing the public art and focusing more on the local. Which we've actually have from that, some of those artists have run workshops with us, which is really nice. And so it's a little bit more supporting local. I don't think this would be a great idea for a program. We just went in a different direction.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we have a motion that I'm sorry.
Just curious about the museum in the box. It doesn't seem to be all that well used. Are you going to continue to create those, because it doesn't look like I'm just wondering if the time is being effectively used if they're not actually being put out there.
So are you talking about the museum at home kits?
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
museum.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, two separate programs. The museum at home kits were created over COVID as a way for people to still engage with the museum. We have not been developing anything more into them. We still have some kits available for people to purchase, but the museum in a box is a separate program that we're developing.
Anything else? All right, seeing nothing else, we have a motion. Oh, we're not done? Okay, sorry.
We do a motion for that first.
The motion is to repeat
Okay,
for the strategic plan review.
because then there's the digital plan.
Is that a separate?
It's a different, do we need a different motion in it or no?
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, is it all within the report you're speaking on?
It's all in the original report, but there are two documents attached to that report.
Yeah, so if it's all in the one report, that's what that motion's speaking to.
So then Crystal will do the
Sorry, Crystal, go ahead.
That's okay. There we go. So yeah, the next one is our digital strategy plan, and that was created last year, and for our CMOG requirements. So similar, it's a 5-year plan that kind of relates to our strategic plan. So you will see similar items on that plan. And again, I did highlight a few things. We are on track. Gray is completed and blue is potential for this year. We are only we haven't even hit our full first year of this plan. YouTube is definitely on this plan as well. So we are well on our way for that. Scory, again, pretty much done with that one. So that's definitely in the 0 to 1 year plan. Some of these ones that are further ahead, the 3 to 5 year plan, we do have to maybe think about possibly putting money aside, asking for capital items if it's going to be some sort of technology that we need. So that's why they're further along in the plan, especially under goal 1, investigate the use of technology within the gallery. That might happen sooner than later with some of our projects, but getting VR and things like that. I mean, technology changes all the time, so hence why it's in the 4 to 5 year mark. For goal number 2, again, we're well on our way for updating website, as Michelle said. And then our social media and collections online, we're hoping to get that going this year. The social media strategy, again, might be a collaboration with our communications coordinator. Because obviously she does a lot of that on this end. And then goal 3, education resources. Just some standard ones, policy review, virtual field trips. Again, that might have to be an increase in our technology. So again, we have to talk to IT and see if we can collaborate with that. But again, that's education piece that I think will be worth it, just due to our schooling visits. We don't get a lot of schooling visits, busing, things like that. The schools are really close, so sometimes they can only walk. It takes, the spring, summertime, they can only come, well, not summer, but fall and spring. So having virtual or the box combination might help with getting more school groups to see our exhibits. Building capacity, obviously ongoing training is extremely important with our digital world that we're in right now, and I'm in a digital workshop right now. Just did it today. So it's just going to be a constant thing that we're going to be doing. And then again, IT is always going to be hopefully an assistance with building capacity. Any questions on our digital strategy plan?
Thanks. Podcast, would that ever be something that we could consider? Just thinking that they seem to like come popping back up every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean,
And now it's becoming a big fad in the car.
there is a lot of different aspects of podcasting, YouTube, like more interaction, not just a static maybe video, more of an interaction kind of thing. We can definitely look into that, especially with our communications coordinator. She can definitely, maybe she's more on the ball of what's going on in today's world, let's say, with not that we're old, but
Well, usually podcasts have been around for a while,
Yeah.
but I'm looking at if you wanted to, you could take what the Heritage Historical Society does once a month. They have some, they get those could be podcasts designed in partnership, and sit down and talk to somebody. We're going to end up with a couple of things. One, live broadcast of Heritage that ties into the museum, and two, we're going to end up with an archives of historical data.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
guess maybe I'm following, like, I'm not native, but the natives have always talked about, their elders have always passed on their stories. We're gonna lose these things if we don't,
oral histories and gathering those oral histories is extremely important. I don't know if I'd want to step on the toes of the Historical Society because they have their own YouTube channel and they do film all their meetings. They have done some fireside chats, is what they call them, with people in the community and have put them online. But we can maybe look at some sort of partnership with the program down the road for sure.
That's why I figured it'd be a partnership. There'd be some things that we could do that we may do on our own, and there's some things that they're gonna wanna do, there's things that we can jointly do. But a podcast would be a great way to get we get that stuff building. We're gonna forget stories.
That'd be good, yes.
There used to be a high school up on the hill up there.
There's some pictures around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Any other questions?
Oh, yes,
Not-
sir. Yeah, Ellen?
Not a question, just a comment on what the last person shared. He talked about the Indigenous input. I think that would be kind of cool, because I don't know that the Historical Society has done any podcasts inviting the Indigenous nations into the pot, so to speak. So just another idea.
Yeah, that's podcasts, and there's all kinds of ideas we can do.
Ashley?
Yeah, just quickly, I see that the budget on a lot of these items is, of course, staff time. And I wonder, is a lot of this feasible with the time that we have available, or is this looking like we need like an additional person to help with some of this kind of digital planning?
There is some that say additional staffing person may be required.
Mhm, mhm.
And then obviously partnering with other departments will definitely assist. So may not be staff time just with Michelle and I. It could be staff with IT, other community services people, the communications coordinator.
Okay.
Like
I know
we
what
said.
it's like to have a lot of ideas and have them all kind of land on your plate. So I was just worried about the two of you. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. But even, working with the school to get them to do the YouTube videos or partnering with, and we do partner with the Historical Society. Yeah. So it's not
Wonderful.
Do you guys get a summer student?
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe you get two, a digital one. You could always apply for a summer student grant.
I think the applicants might be.
Oh, not for this year.
Yeah. Definitely.
In the future, it'd be a great project for a post-secondary or a call of somebody and doing digital, for a co-op term or something. Yeah. Okay, if there's nothing else, then we have a motion that MAC receive report CS 2026-06 strategic plans review February 2026 for information. Someone to bring the motion?
I'll move on.
Thank you. And seconded.
Second.
All in favor? All right, motion carried. Announcements and inquiries by members. Melanie, you had your hand up, but you put it down. No, okay. Does anybody have any announcements or inquiries? Any else for the good of the museum that we should discuss? Next meeting will be April the 28th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers, also available by hybrid. Open all the cakes were down. Thank you for your patience this evening. A motion to adjourn the February 24th, 2026 Museum Advisory Committee meeting at 7:29 p.m. Motion, Melanie, seconded. Ashley, all in favor? Motion carried.
Should have.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.